Hey there folks, this is GreenyXI welcoming you right back to Let's Play Higurashi. This is episode 171. In the last episode, a few things happened I suppose. Rika sort of persuaded Dr. Irie, mainly, to not dissect Sadako even though they got permission. No, permission was from Rika. But regardless, they're going to try a cure on Sadako instead, even if it only has like 1% chance of succeeding. I think it might be this one we need to do next, H170. Discontinuation of the dissection plan. We did that, I think. Kayosuke Irie's motive to become a doctor is required. I think we've had that as well. Yeah, here we go. C103's implementation on Sadako is going well so far. It wouldn't make any difference to me if the experiment failed. However, Irie's extraordinary focus and attention to the experiment has avoided Sadako Hojo hallucinating or turning into a vegetable during the experiment. Unsurprisingly, we see prospects of her returning to normal life despite reaching level 5. C103 still has many issues, but this experiment proved that even a person who has reached level 5 can be cured. I didn't believe in it at first, but I guess I have to acknowledge Irie's hard work. Only Irie could have done this. He was tormented by naive humanism and didn't want to make mistakes, and that's why he felt obligated to cure Sadako Hojo. The reason why I dislike Irie isn't because of his achievements or abilities, but because of that weakness. But this time I had to praise him for it. I saw your report. I must tip my hat to you. No, I only did my job as a researcher. If that means fulfilling my duty as a doctor as well, then nothing could please me more. It's hardly an exaggeration to say that Sadako is now our most valuable specimen. After all, she's the first human to reach level 5 and live. That's true. We'll let her go back to her life and keep our eyes on her. I'm going to tell her to come here every Sunday for checkup. But how are you going to explain to her that she has to give herself a C103 shot 3 times a day, not so that she has to come here every Sunday? She has no subjective symptoms. I'm still trying to come up with a good excuse. I think I'll tell her that I want her to help me with my research. She has to give herself shots daily and to come here every Sunday for a checkup. I'll pay her for helping me, or something like that. I guess Irie is determined to cure Sadako Hojo, no matter what. He seems determined to keep her off the dissection table. He and I are in different positions, but I don't have any complaints about his naive ideals, as long as they translate directly into passion for our research. If his plans can be put into effect and produce a different result than the dissection would, then they'll still be useful to the overall understanding of the Higurashi syndrome. I have nothing against Sadako Hojo. It's only that I see her as a research specimen. If she can be useful in that capacity without being dissected, that's perfectly fine with me. If we have to get permission from her guardian to give her shots 3 times a day, after her parents died, her aunt and uncle have been taking care of her, right? Maybe I'll go talk to them. I hope they agree to her involvement in such suspicious research. Don't worry. I'm sure they'll be happy to, once they realise they receive 100,000 to 200,000 yen every month for it. True. Do we have enough money? Sure. As long as we can produce documents that'll convince Jiro-san. Okay, then I'll work on that. Also, we'll need to take action to prevent stress in Sadako-chan. We don't want her to return to level 5. I hear her aunt and uncle are very mercenary. Perhaps we can handle them with cash. I plan to provide my help with their guidance too. I've heard Sadako-chan isn't getting along with her aunt and uncle. I never thought that'd affect us in any way, but now Irie has to deal with them. Maybe he's developed some kind of sense of responsibility or duty as her guardian. I don't really care. The more responsible he feels, the more progress our research makes. That'll be a plus for me. By the way, I saw the report on H170. Oh, compared to your success, it's nothing, but I guess it was some kind of accomplishment. It's honestly ironic. The same research centre that's produced the remedy to save her from derangement has developed a dangerous drug that could instantly induce it. Irie wasn't involved in the H170 research. That was my work. In fact, even if I asked him, he wouldn't have agreed to be involved. This dangerous reagent was developed during the process of uncovering the mechanisms behind how the pathogens controlling Sadako Hojo's brain could induce derangement or paranoia in their host. To put it bluntly, injecting H170 into a patient with Higurashi syndrome forced them to express terminal symptoms. It threw the brain into a simulated state of agitation, intentionally forcing the pathogen to grow unstable. So this H170 is probably what's going to be really good for like military use or whatever. If we continue researching this, it will be possible to drive anyone with Higurashi syndrome violently insane at any time. Studying the mechanism behind that will help to solve the syndrome's mysteries. So this study on H170 will be extremely important to future research. Also, this medicine has military applications, as the client requested. At this point, there's absolutely no use for it. but once our research progresses a bit further, this H170 could be spread at the right moment to cause a certain type of reaction. Compared to a killer virus, it seems like a useless pathogen. There's no way to detect in a dead body, and it makes it look as though the person just went insane spontaneously, so it must have some useful applications. The Marco Polo bridge incident threatened to end research on Higurashi syndrome before. A historically important incident like that couldn't have been created by a killer virus, but it's possible with Higurashi syndrome. The elders of the Alphabet Project, the sponsor for our research, can think whatever they want about that. I don't care how they use what I've learned. My purpose is to solve the mysteries of Higurashi syndrome and to make people realise how important this research is. Also, to make people acknowledge my grandfather's accomplishments and achievements. Any military applications were just byproducts of the process that I didn't care about. The clients will appreciate your accomplishment. Maybe our budget will increase for next term. Passion alone can't keep research going. We need money. We must thank the sponsor for giving us so much funding. For this much money to come from public expenses, maybe Japan's richer than I thought. They're public expenses, but they're expenses that can't be made public. Irie has no idea what I had to go through to get that money. Anyway, our research is going extremely well. We don't know what we'll find out about Higurashi syndrome, but I'm sure every mystery will eventually be solved. I can hardly wait. What the syndrome indicates is that humans are simply empty containers. What we believe to be our will is simply the reactions of parasites that live in our brains. If that mystery was solved, it would have a greater impact than anything else in history. That's the truth which nobody wants to believe. This is an achievement my grandfather predicted back during his time. I know now. I know the reason why my grandfather was so fascinated by his work. Even the music is making her seem a little bit, batty. Okay, so what did we get out of that? What sort of fragments? So I guess we'll have to have a little look a sec. Nothing on page 1, which is really filling out quite nicely now. That was the one there was loads left before, wasn't there? Results of the research, I think maybe? Truth Roach, no. Not be allowed to visit his sister. Should we have a look? Yeah. Sadako-chan's dissection plan has been scrubbed, and we are getting ready to administer an almost totally untested medicine, C103. This experimental medicine suppresses the production of a certain type of hormone, and in doing so, it will stop the transmission of the syndrome triggering Sadako-chan's condition. The mechanism of Higurashi syndrome is as follows. The pathogen takes over the frontal lobe of the patient's brain, and then induces increased responsiveness to paranoia. As a result, a patient voluntarily carries out excessively defensive behaviours to a problematic extent. If this induction can be cut off, then it will be possible to save terminal patients from becoming deranged. But it only cuts off an induction, so it's not really a cure. Ironically, the brain is an organ that learns. Once the brain has learned to be excessively paranoid due to Higurashi syndrome, even after the pathogen is eliminated, the brain doesn't simply unlearn that paranoia. In short, even if the pathogen doesn't induce derangement, the patient will be directed to such emotions of their own volition. Thus, it's impossible to completely escape the nearly deranged level 5 state. The proverb, "a burnt child dreads the fire," is a good example of this. Even after the burn on your tongue heals, the fear of being burned by food again remains. When it ends up being a good thing, we call it the learning a lesson. We call it trauma when it doesn't. We predict Sadako-chan's treatment will take a significantly long time, requiring both medication, such as administering psychotropics, and mental care like counselling. We have to slowly unravel her mind's solidified paranoia while also suppressing the syndrome's induction of derangement. This is the treatment plan for terminal patients like Sadako-chan. However, as we are going to stimulate the parts of her brain that affect her emotions, while they are being stimulated by the pathogen at the same time, it's possible there could be unexpected side effects. Both her mental and physical strength hold the key to our success. We were going to begin the experiment once she regains her emotional stability and physical strength, but someone who threatens to disturb her emotional stability has been coming here every day. Oishi, the sly old detective from the Okinamaya Police Department. He thinks everything from the dam protest to the dismemberment murder of the construction manager is an organised effort secretly conducted by the 3 families of the village. He even thinks the accident involving Sadako-chan's parents wasn't an accident. That's why he keeps coming back so he can talk to Sadako-chan. No matter how many times you come, I won't let you see her. She's still crippled by the shock of her parents' death. Can't you understand what she's been going through? I understand. I only need a few minutes with her, really. It won't take long at all. If you want me to get a warrant, I will. That's pretty serious, you know. I'm being considerate of Hojo-san. That's why I haven't got a warrant. What are you trying to ask her anyway? I don't really understand. Well, actually, it's possible that the fall was not an accident. I know the Hojo couple were hated by the whole village after the business with the dam, but who would actually follow them on their trip and push them off? Don't you think that's absurd? Well, we could call it an accident, but if that was the case, there are some things which just don't make sense. Why lie? With those lies, I don't think it was an accident. What lies? Well, Sadako Hojo-san said she was asleep in the car at the time of the accident. I think that story sounds a little off, doesn't it? Sadako-chan claimed she was asleep in the back seat when the accident took place, so she didn't get out of the car at the viewing platform. When she woke up, she didn't see her parents. Then she found out they had fallen off the cliff. Where's the lie exactly? You aren't saying Sadako-chan wasn't really asleep and she went over to the viewing platform with her parents, are you? That's right. Sadako Hojo-san was never asleep. She got out of the car with her parents and went to the viewing platform. I'm suddenly hit by a terrible possibility. If what Higurashi says is true, and Sadako-chan's saying she didn't go to the viewing platform even though she actually did, it's terrible to even imagine. Why are you saying such a thing? Besides, why would Sadako-chan lie? That's just it. Why would Sadako Hojo-san lie? That's why I need to talk to her. Otherwise, this won't end as just a simple accident. Why are you convinced that Sadako-chan's lying? This accident took place in a different jurisdiction. The guys from the Shirakawa station conducted the interviews with the parties involved. There are things that bother me in their report. Bother you? Like what? According to Sadako Hojo-san's statement, her parents asked her to come with them to the viewing platform, but she was sleepy, so she didn't get out of the car. Then she fell asleep and woke up after a while. She became concerned because her parents hadn't come back and started to cry. One of the park workers on patrol noticed her crying and talked to her, and that's how the accident was discovered. And at that time, guess what? According to the park worker's testimony, she was the one who first said her parents had fallen off the cliff. But you see, it's hard to see the accident site in question from where the car was parked. If you look very carefully, you might be able to notice the broken fence. But still, you know? I think it's odd to say your parents had fallen off a cliff just because you didn't see them when you woke up. Normally, most people would say something like the parents went for a walk and didn't come back. It just doesn't make sense to me that she told a stranger that her parents had fallen off a cliff without even being at the site of the accident. I want to ask her why she was so certain that her parents had fallen off a cliff. That's why I keep coming back here. I asked her many times before she was admitted here, but all she said was that she doesn't remember or that she was confused at the time. Sounds like a politician, huh? That's why I think it's worth taking that time to talk to her. That terrifying possibility has turned to certainty in my head. I'd assumed that her parents' accident triggered her terminal symptoms. But no. Sadako-chan had already gone terminal, and just before the accident, her heart was filled with paranoia that drove her mad. She was under a lot of stress because of her bad relationship with her stepfather. She was also being scolded by her mother for not being able to get along with him. If that made her paranoid, made her think her parents considered her to be a bother and were going to kill her. When they went to the viewing platform, she must have thought they were going to push her off the cliff. Then a tragedy took place and she pushed her parents off instead, although she considered it to have been self-defense. I'm certain of that, because I know Hinamazawa syndrome better than anybody. This accident isn't an accident. It isn't a crime either, like Uishi is thinking. It is simply a tragedy. When I talked to Satoshi-kun about the family, I was even more convinced. He told me even though Sadako-chan refused to open up to her stepfather, he had tried to communicate with her. It's true their relationship didn't go well in the beginning. Sadako-chan caused trouble repeatedly, and even called the city's child abuse hotline. At that point, they received guidance from the Child Consultation Center. They pointed out that the problem lay in lack of communication between daughter and stepfather. So the stepfather took a parenting course under the social worker's guidance, and awkward though it was, he made efforts to communicate with her. Satoshi-kun noticed his efforts, so he tried to talk to Sadako-chan about it. But Sadako-chan didn't notice them at all. The excessive stress she was under triggered terminal symptoms, and she couldn't understand her stepfather's remorse. On the contrary, her stepfather's change created even more mistrust within her. As a result, they went to enjoy the beautiful view of the Shirakawa Nature Park as a family and to share in that joy. Yet that humble, ordinary family's wish couldn't even get through to Sadako-chan. What a tragic misunderstanding. Sadako-chan stayed in the car telling her parents that she wanted to sleep, but then she got out and snuck up behind them. I bet he heard her footsteps. He pretended not to notice her, thinking that she was doing that to surprise him. It's sad just thinking about what must have run through his mind. While he thought he had finally gotten through to her, she was actually approaching him with the intent to kill. But that's not Sadako-chan's true nature. It's a disease. Sadako-chan isn't the only one who is to be pitied. Her parents are its victims too. And now Uishi thinks she's a criminal. Judgment and punishment are required for crimes with a malicious intent. But what she really needs is understanding and sympathy. And no one has that understanding, except for me, because I know about Hinomazawa syndrome. I am the director of the Area Institute, but I never behaved as such or exercised that authority. But I'm going to do so for the first time since taking the position. I'm not doing it as the head of the Area Institute, the secret research organization. I'm doing it as a doctor, so I can protect Sadako-chan. It's about the Hojo family's accident at the Shirakawa Nature Park. Do you think you can ask Okanagi-san from the Mountain Dogs to make it out to be an accident? Sure, of course. That's no problem. The Mountain Dogs are a unit specialised in concealment and manipulation, after all. We have to put an end to it quickly, otherwise the police will end up getting closer to finding out about our research. That's right. Please make especially sure Uishi-san is drawn away from this case. We're at a delicate stage of the drug administration test. She doesn't need any more unnecessary stress. You're absolutely right. I'll let the Mountain Dogs know. I've heard they even have connections within the police, so I'll give the order to put pressure on them too. I'm sure the accident in Shirakawa will be concluded as exactly that within a few days. With that, it was declared an accident. Only if it really was one, it would have eased Sadako-chan's soul. Getting rid of the pathogen can't heal that wounded soul, nor can it erase the tragedy that had already taken place. All I can do is my best, so the day she regains her smile comes sooner. Okay, so now they know it was Sadako who killed her parents during that third year? Third year? I think it's third year. And that it wasn't an accident, yeah, at the park, which is a fragment. There was a fragment prerequisite for that. See if we can find that one. Right, it could be that one. Results of research. And truth about Shirakawa Park accident. Let's go for that. Yeah. Rika's developed a high fever. Oh, that's a prerequisite in its own right. A very high fever. It's not flu season, nor season for any type of contagious disease. I could only think of the suspicious experiments Rika has gone through. Maybe the fever is being caused by those. Her growth is rather slow compared to other children her age. Receiving mysterious shots and going through experiments every week, I'm sure her body is exhausted. I've asked the staff to go easy on her, but Rika herself is fearless and is willing to go through anything. My husband, who should be admonishing her for that, truly believes this story that is crucial to the lives of over 2,000 villagers and takes our own daughter to that clinic every week. I'm the only one who's sincerely worried about her health. That's why I want to ask Dr. Irie to be a little more considerate towards Rika. Anyway, I have to talk to them about taking responsibility for this. Oh, we're in the mother's eyes this time. Right after I called, a staff member came to pick Rika up to admit her to the clinic. As her guardian, I came with them. Please, calm down. We'll make sure she'll be okay, so please wait for a while. How can I calm down? Why did she come down with such a high fever? Isn't this caused by the experiment you performed last week? Rika's just a little girl, you know. She cares about her friend, so she's doing what she can for the sick girl. I understand. There's no way our research would affect Rika-san negatively. Besides, we're being extremely careful so that something like that won't happen. Then explain this high fever. It's probably due to the change in seasons, and how could this be a simple cold? This is because of the weird shot you gave her. Dr. Irie only told me to calm down and refused to accept responsibility. My husband told me this is all for the sake of the village. That's why I've held back my doubts until now. But I'm at my limit. Their existence has been suspicious from the beginning. They're conducting their research in secret, using a privacy policy as an excuse. That was shady enough on its own. It's just impossible. In fact, I called the Ministry of Health and was told that wasn't true at all, even after I told them I'm Rika Furude's mother. The clinic even came up with stupid excuses, saying normal workers often don't know of a special institute like theirs. That doesn't make sense at all. It's much too suspicious. Also, there are people who don't appear to be researchers working at the institute. They look like security guards, but they seem so different from normal guards at a normal hospital. In fact, one time I accidentally saw that they were armed with guns. That is, well, are they policemen? I don't think so. Who are you all anyway? I refuse to believe you're from the Ministry of Health. Dr. Irie seems taken aback by my intensity, can't even answer properly. They're still hiding a lot more from us. That tells me the research they're working on with Rika isn't anything proper. Anyway, I'm Rika's guardian. Rika is still a child. It doesn't matter what she says, I won't let her participate in this research anymore. My, it's Rika-chan's mother. Hello. Oh, what's the matter? Is everything okay? Ah, well, Rika-chan's mother says she won't let Rika-chan participate in the research any longer. Why is that? Because she's not your guinea pig. We've never treated her that way. You're misunderstanding us. I'm a little startled. Dr. Irie is a weak person who backs down under pressure. Takano-san's different. I'm yelling at her, but she's not afraid at all. On the contrary, she's glaring daggers. It looks as if she's about to jump on me. Rika-chan's fever is caused by a cold. We didn't cause it. When it comes to safety and sanitation, we pay the same level of attention as a national research centre. I don't mean to be rude, but considering you walk around while holding Rika-chan's hands without disinfecting yours with alcohol first, we are far more sanitary. I'm not talking about that. Anyhow, Rika isn't a toy. She'll never come back here again. You can't decide that by yourself. You and your husband both signed the statement of consent, didn't you? We've been depositing money that's by no means a small amount into your account every single month for your cooperation in the research. Well, I know nothing about any money. I've never even heard of that before. Rika receiving money for participating in their research really is news to me. Knowing my husband's character, he wouldn't have used it as spending money behind my back. I already thought of it as free service for the villagers, completely forgot about the money being deposited into our account. There haven't been any strange deposits in the regular account, so maybe in our savings. Anyway, I don't care about that. If we want to breach our contract, we'll have to ask you to return the full amount of the deposits we have made up until this point. Also, if one party is at fault for the breach of contract... Takano-san, please calm down. Mrs. Fude, you too. Just as I explained to you before, we must find a cure for Hinamazawa syndrome, so the villagers can continue to live without worries. For that reason, we need to have Rika-san continue to participate. Then tell me, when are you going to find a cure? It doesn't make sense. At first you said this was for Rika's friend, Sadako-chan, but Sadako-chan has been released from the clinic and is now carrying on happily. You even told my husband 2 weeks ago that you found a cure already, didn't you? Yes, I think I told him something like that. But you see, to solve the mysteries of the syndrome... You didn't mention anything about solving mysteries at the beginning. Rika was to participate to find a cure for the villagers, so now her job is done. All the research and experiments you're performing on Rika have nothing to do with the cure. You're doing them out of your own self-interest, aren't I right? That's not true. It really isn't. Anyway, this matter of Rika-san's cold is just a misunderstanding. If you still don't trust us, then... That's enough. Since money is involved here, I'll have to discuss it with my husband. Excuse me. They were just too shady from the very start. Because of their exaggerated story, Rika and my husband took their side, but it won't work on me. Anyhow, I must settle things with them right away. Because Rika isn't their toy. I especially don't trust that woman called Takano. Dr. Irie seems to me like he's still a doctor, but she doesn't. How can I describe her? I guess I can say the glow in her eyes is just unpleasant. She only sees Rika as a guinea pig. I can feel cruelty emitting from her. Neither my husband nor Rika have noticed that. I must protect her. As a mother, I must protect Rika. Okay. Oh, I love her character so much. It's so much better than in the anime or manga. Like, she's given proper characterization and that proper protective mother sort of sense, which I never go to the anime or manga. That's not like you, Takano-san. Getting into an argument with her will only make things more complicated. It's so unlike you. I know. Sorry for losing my cool. Did something happen to put her in a bad mood? Irie wondered. The heated conversation she just had didn't involve the Takano he knew. Why is she in a bad mood? I actually don't know. As they told us yet, I don't know. Okay. What can we get out of that? Okay, let's have a look. None of that, I don't think. But no, we haven't got that far with Sadako's thing. Completion of the medicine C117. I don't think we've had... Oh, we have, haven't we? It worked well on her. Oh no, that wasn't that code. No. I clicked it before I thought it through. Rika Fude's high fever, we got that. Due to Mitaki's slight fever, we haven't had that. Prior consent for collection of the fluid? Yeah, okay. I remembered it had been brought up. The lights came on in the meeting room as the slideshow ended, and all the auditors began to applaud, praising the area institution's dramatic accomplishments. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. To be honest with you, I wasn't expecting too much from this Hinamazawa syndrome research. I figured that even if there was progress, it would be 3 steps forward, 2 steps back every decade. Oh my, how impressive it is to achieve so much in such a short period of time. It's all thanks to you, Dr. Irie. Director Irie. Oh no, this is all because of the staff that supported me, and Takano-san too. Don't be so humble. Director Irie is a genius in the field of neurology. After all, he's also produced greater achievements than any other doctor when it comes to the brain. That's true. Not many doctors as young as you have nearly as much experience operating on brains. Congratulations, Lieutenant Colonel Irie. Now I can go back to Tokyo with my head held high. I'm honored we gave you something good to take back with you, Tomitaki-san. By the way, could you please stop calling me Lieutenant Colonel? I just can't get used to it. I almost prefer Risa-san at this point. I bet you do, huh? You sure were a huge help. You're the one who secured funding for our research, even when we couldn't produce feasible results. We couldn't have done this without you. It wasn't any trouble. But really, the results you presented today are just brilliant. Not only have you found the cause of the syndrome, you've also provided a clear path towards future research. We're looking forward to hearing more progress when we come again next time. I'm sure the Tokyo office will quit bothering us about cutting your budget with these sorts of results. After all, we nearly lost our budget for the canned coffee we provided to you all, didn't we? Baha! Tomitaki-kun, make sure you report our progress to Tokyo well enough that they give us enough funding to hold a party. We've been getting nothing but the stick. It's time for the carrot. Yeah. We'll be happiest if that carrot comes back in the shape of funding. And with that congenial atmosphere, our routine audit was over. Iria was surrounded and being questioned by National Institute of Infectious Diseases workers who had joined the auditors. Takano-san, congratulations. I can't really say this out loud, but all the progress I've seen tonight is thanks to your hard work. Thank you, Jiro-san. Jiro-san and I are the only ones here who know that strings were pulled in order to create the Iria Institute, so only Jiro-san can understand what I had to go through. But I've only just risen to the stage for my research. My opponent and I are finally in the same arena, that's all. The critical fight comes after this. It should be getting even more exciting in the future. By the way, Manager Nakagawa told me to tell you that he wants you to hold a presentation in Tokyo. Even the Alphabet Board wants you to come meet with them. I guess they all want to hear this directly from you. Oh my, isn't having you explaining enough? Nah, I don't think that's what they mean. I bet they want to meet such a pretty researcher in person, maybe. My, aren't you being silly, Jiro-san? Excuse me, Major Takano, there's a phone call for you from Tokyo. Thank you for holding. This is Takano. Hey, how are you doing? Koizumi-sensei, thank you for taking time to call me. You know, I heard you made a significant breakthrough, Miyo-chan, so I had to call to congratulate you. Thank you very much. Yes, thanks to your support, we've been able to accomplish the first step of identifying the microbe that causes Hinamasawa syndrome. I see. Great job, Miyo-chan. I'm sure Takano-kun is very happy in heaven right now. That's a little too early to say. My grandfather was attempting to go beyond merely identifying the cause of the syndrome. His work was about showing the possibility of human thoughts actually being controlled by parasitic agents in our bodies. Only when that is proven will his research be recognized for the great achievement it is. When we're able to explain our thoughts and religions with parasites, the world is going to be tossed into chaos. How interesting. I can just imagine how those religious big shots will react once they find out their leaders are parasites. How interesting. I would love to see that. I won't die until you show that to me, Miyo-chan. Please don't say that. Do look forward to it though. I'll make sure that this research will spread shock throughout the world. Then the whole world will finally realise how great my grandfather was, and they'll be fighting each other to read over the documents he left behind. Only then can I say I've repaid my debt to him. I'm a little envious of Takano-kun. I don't want money, you know. I don't mind getting rid of half of what I have. I just wish I had a grandchild who would carry on my legacy. Thank you so much. Those words mean so much to me. By the way, sent you a present. It's a nice bottle of wine for you to celebrate with. I didn't know your address, so I sent it to the clinic. However, they told me they're having a difficult time importing it, so it may take a little while. But when it comes, please have a party with the people who helped you. Celebratory wine? Well then, I wonder what expensive sort of drink Koizumi-sensei will be sending us. Oh, it's not that kind of expensive. Don't you remember, Miyo-chan? Takano-kun used to keep a particular bottle of wine. I remember. That's right, my grandfather kept a certain bottle of wine. I don't know if he bought it himself or if someone gave it to him. But he treasured it, and he always said he'd open it when his research finally gained recognition. I was a child then, so I don't even remember what brand it was, but Mr. Koizumi would know. He went through all the troubles to find the same bottle of wine for the special occasion. For the first time in a while, Takano felt the same sunny warmth she experienced during her time with her grandfather. Thank you very much, Uncle Koizumi. I like it when you call me that, Miyo-chan. I don't feel like you're speaking to me when you say Koizumi-sensei. Can't help but smile along with him, because I think Tomitaki and Irie were just having a similar exchange. If you like it that way, then I'll be happy to call you that when there's nobody around. I'd be happy if you'd call me that even in front of people. I don't know exactly how old he is, but if he can laugh so energetically, he'll live for many more years to come. I guess the saying about living a long life is true after all. Takano-kun and I both wished you were truly part of our family. We really did. My grandfather had his own family, of course, but because he was so into his research, he became estranged from his wife. They were legally married, but they lived separately. I never met his family when I was a child. I only met them after my grandfather committed suicide. During his latter years, my grandfather went into psychological despair and began to look at his life with cynicism. His condition became worse over time, and he was shocked at his own dementia. He was afraid of living while his consciousness degraded. So he jumped off the rooftop of the hospital. Only my name was in his suicide note. None of his family members' names were in it. That's when all his relatives showed up and took everything my grandfather left behind. They were afraid I was going to get to his estate. They had lawyers and all that, so I backed down. I asked for everything in the study in return. Those idiots don't understand the value of my grandfather's research. They were actually happy to strike a deal at the court, and they could also get rid of the piles of papers and jars with human organs in them. They never even showed up once he was alive, yet like hyenas, they appeared after his death. I'd never let them put their hands all over my grandfather's research. Fortunately, I was able to protect my grandfather's soul from their tainted hands. Okay, I'll get going here. If there's anything you need, be sure to call Uncle Kozumi, okay? I'll do anything for my granddaughter. Thank you, Uncle Kozumi. I'll work even harder. Ah, that's a nice one. It's nice when you go back to when Miyo was nice. When she shows a bit of humanity and a bit less villainy. I like it. Slight fever, still haven't got that. Completion of medicine. No. Death of Kozumi, that hasn't happened. We can have a look. No, that hasn't happened. I wasn't sure if it was going to... Yeah, we haven't seen it. Never mind. I'm just being stupid. 30 years curse of Oshio-sama. Rika's father being marked as an opportunist. Rika's mother's suspicion we've had, but not the opportunist part, I don't think. No. Okay. So, still missing a few, but look how many... There's only a couple per page left now by the looks of it. Declaration of War from Oishi, I haven't had that. Death of Kozumi, completion of medicine, haven't had the fever. Bottle of wine, okay, we had that, or pretty much got it. Due to Mataki's promise is required, yeah. Draft of emergency manual, yep, we've got all them, so we can go for this one. Oh! Maybe because we haven't actually had the wine yet? Is that a thing? Shopping trip, contacting Shinto priest contacting the area institution. Don't think we've had the second one. Oh, we have. Oh, God knows. The gathering place inside the Fude Shrine is in fact the headquarters of the Onikafuji Guardians. Normally, a shrine should be a calm and quiet place, but there are anti-dam signs everywhere, making it very obvious that this location has become. There are over 30 members of the Guardians here at the moment, and they are having a heated conversation about their plans for the future. Although this meeting place is on the Fude family's property, it's a community facility, so it closes at 9 PM. Of course, sometimes the discussion gets so heated that it goes on past closing time, but meetings are supposed to end by 9. If a discussion ends early, they usually chit-chat until that time. That's what usually happens. Of course, they mostly talk about the dam, even when they chit-chat. They talk about someone's mistreatment at the government office, or someone getting arrested unjustly, or complain that people at the dam construction site are too violent. Since it's idle chatter, the topics are slightly emotional, and because of that, there was a good deal of badmouth in Hojo's. Then she threw the circulation notes away. Can you believe that? That woman's crazy. Just the other day, she got into a huge argument with Makino-san's grandmother at the trash pickup. You know, the husband's rude too. He's so irrational. Did you see him at the explanatory meeting? That was bad, huh? I can't believe they're still here. I wish they'd just leave. He said something about money. He has absolutely no shame. This was that thing in the auditorium, right? When the Hojos were not happy. No. If you talk about being irrational, his wife is the same or even worse. It must be hereditary. I see their daughter shopping quite often, so I used to say hello to her, but she never replied. Can you believe that? So I got tired of it, and I don't say anything to her anymore. Hey, the son always looks so depressed, doesn't he? And they're laughing about it. By now, the Hojo family has become the enemy of the whole village. Badmouth in the Hojo family was the greatest shared topic that anyone could easily contribute to. If he had known how powerful the three families were, especially the Sonsaki family, and if he had known Oyu-san's character, he wouldn't have said the things he did. The Hojo couple are residents here. Though they were never very enthusiastic about the council activities, they should have known what kind of person Oyu-san is. He could have imagined just what would happen to him if he talked to her that way. Yet, he had let his anger take over and voiced his unpleasant feelings. So most people think the Hojo family brought their isolation upon themselves. If they wanted to negotiate with the government regarding the move, they should have done so privately. Yet he was foolish enough to express himself at a public gathering like that. So not too many sympathised with the Hojo family. Ever since the big fight at the explanatory meeting, the Sonzaki family has looked at the Hojo family as their enemy, and started to go after them. That caused the other pro-Dam families to go quiet, fearing they'd be made into scapegoats too, and those who wanted to leave were bitterly forced to give up. Even those people started criticising the Hojo couple, saying they could have gotten their compensation to leave if the two hadn't picked that reckless fight. Both the anti-Dam and pro-Dam people hate the Hojos now, and the family has become even more isolated. Moreover, the Hojos are both very aggressive. They should have stayed quiet at least until things settled down, but they didn't. That alienated the handful of people who took pity on them as well, so now nobody even says anything to them. All of that was immediately obvious by listening to the folk talk here and there at the gathering place. Rika always helps out by putting the teacups away, so I'm sure she hears what they say as well. One of the Hojo family members they're bad-mouthing is Rika's friend, Sadako-chan. Hurts to think about what Rika feels while hearing that. As priest of the Fude Shrine, should I let this continue? Oyashiro-sama is a god who makes peace between enemies. When the humans and demons fought, Oyashiro-sama descended from heaven and mediated between both sides. As the caretaker of the shrine, I must do something before it goes too far. I'm sitting next to Oyu-san, who is spitefully disparaging the Hojo family. So that ass was talking shit to me. Who the hell cares? He'll be cursed by Oyashiro-sama, that's for sure. The elderly people cheer her on as they listen to her speak. If I barge in now, I have a feeling it won't be a peaceful conversation. But I have to make up my mind. As the priest of the Fude Shrine, also for the sake of Rika's friend, Sadako-chan. Oyu-san, don't you think you've said enough by now? What the hell are you trying to tell me? Well, I'm sure Hojo-san really didn't mean what he said. Isn't it a bit much for this kind of treatment to go on for so long? Shut up. You heard what he said, didn't you? Weren't you pissed? He pissed me off. Shit. Oyu-san's the head of the Sonzaki family. They hate the demons. She never forgives anyone who stands against her. So there's no way she would even listen to what I'm trying to say. Oyu-san and the others became furious and refused to listen to me. This is her father, it's gotta be. Rika's father. Also mentioned that the dam construction plan will be cancelled soon, so they should calm down already. I said that because the staff at the area clinic told me that the government's putting some kind of pressure on the Ministry of Construction. But thinking that I'm being an opportunist, soon criticism of me began to circulate the room. After that I realised that I've become branded as a fence-sitter. If the demons are willing to listen, then there's a chance to make peace. But how can I make peace with people who refuse to listen? I destroyed their mood, so I just have to give up and shut my mouth. Then I felt a little hand on my back. Oh, hello. Rika. It's getting late. Why don't I go home? No matter how hard we try, we can't reach them. Rika looked into the distance while she spoke. The evil of this corrupted village is probably beyond the means of those of us living in that muck. But I won't lose hope. Surely someone who will destroy the stagnation will arrive. Very soon, I know. Her eyes shone as if seeing a future that only the maiden of the Fude Shrine could see. Ah! So now the father seems a fence-sitter and the mother was trying to get Sadako, Rika to start having experiments and stuff. So I think I know which fragment to go to next. And I think we will do one more. I know it's going to be a little bit of a longer episode, but they've all been pretty long, let's face it. Where's it two though? None of those. Page 1? Yes, this one. Rika's father being marked as an opportunist, and Rika's mother's suspicion. The situation has changed. Rika's father suddenly changed his mind about having her help out with the research. When Rika came down with a high fever the other day, her mother, who wasn't happy about her daughter helping in the first place, finally blew up. I was hoping the father would convince her somehow, but now he seems to be on her side. Rika's father didn't get emotional like her mother, but he demanded that we make our research plans for Rika clear, and that we finish our research within 3 months at most, which was completely unrealistic. But he could have said straight away, you know. Research can't have a deadline, that's out of the question. We cultivate results by grinding down our knowledge, skills, and time. To take time away from us is like taking away what's vital to live. How could he say such a thing? Curses. Rika's parents are only saying that because they don't know anything about scientific research. I'm starting to see why Rika's parents were, killed off in the next year's Oyashiro-sama curse. However, as they are the parents of the Queen Carrier, we're completely lost about what to do. Tests and experiments on the Queen Carrier are an essential part of our research into Hinamizawa syndrome. Her existence is the focal point of our work. To lose her would be like losing your sense of direction out in open water. Rika is providing her cooperation with our research, but the withdrawal of her guardian's consent could be a setback. The situation is extremely dire. Rika's parents are only interested in finding a cure, but to me, the cure is only a small part of solving the mystery. I can't let her go. Are our differences causing this predicament? And it's not only them, the same's happening between Irie and me. He thinks it's inevitable that we'd need to stop the research if Rika's parents refuse to consent. That's understandable. From the beginning, Irie never had the determination to solve the mysteries of Higurashi syndrome. He won't back down from the research assertively, but he will passively by agreeing with Rika's parents. Is that the attitude of a researcher who's trying to unravel mysteries? He's the type of man who would step on my grandfather's research with his dirty feet. He's nothing but a coward who was in this half-heartedly. He started to feel guilty over his past the moment he saw blood. He isn't qualified to even be involved in researching Higurashi syndrome. He's simply an outsider who joined in because of the client's demands. If I were a man, he wouldn't be here in the first place. While it's true he produced wonderful results with his development of a cure, he seems to think it's alright to close up shop with that. Is he planning to waste everything, but being satisfied with just that tiny result? That man doesn't have any right to discard to my grandfather's research. I can feel my guts boiling. No. Irie isn't the main person at fault. The one to blame here is that woman, Rika's mother. If she wasn't so selfish, this wouldn't have happened. Maybe it's partly my fault. I maintained trust through relationships and obligations all this time. But somehow, Rika's mother and I didn't get along, so I didn't try to socialise with her. I thought it was fine, because I got along with Rika and her father, but now the mother has influenced the father and changed his decision. What negligence. What a reversal. What a blunder. Irie is saying we should talk to the office in Tokyo about what to do next. But I know once the Tokyo office finds out about this, they'll order us to shut the research down. I've worked so hard to even get things started. If they hear anything negative, they'll put a stop to it. I've come too far to complete my grandfather's research. I can't let it be stopped. I still have a little time to think about this. I need to calm down and analyse this carefully. I've always come up with a great plan when I drink my favourite tea and bite my nails like this. I looked up at the ceiling and closed my eyes, as tenderly as possible. There were times where I couldn't find a solution, but someone else came up with a simple one. I've been able to overcome everything that's been thrown at me. I even endured the hell at that orphanage, so I'll never let that woman get in the way. Settle your thoughts down. Think about this clearly. Be calm, Miyo Takano. Someone else may come up with a better idea. But who? It's not me. It can't be Irie. Of course, nobody from the village will do. Do I talk to someone in Tokyo? No, I can't. I don't want to owe anyone a favour. Even Koizumi-sensei would be disgusted if he finds out I can't solve such a simple matter by myself. Ah, I know. There's someone I can talk to nearby. They're supposed to be my subordinates after all, so it's worth a try. I called the leader of the mountain dogs, Okanagi. The mountain dogs are my subordinates, but they're part of the self-defense force and I'm just a researcher, so we never really had a chance to interact. He did what he was supposed to do, and I did what I was supposed to do, so I never even thought of discussing anything with him. But the mountain dogs are there to protect and support our research. Why didn't I think of talking to him before? Hello? Oh god, he looks so different. What a difficult situation. He used to speak standard Japanese, but now he has the Higurashi accent. I guess fitting into the region is the first thing they need to do. We may lose the Queen Carrier. Not only that, but her mother might end up exposing our secrets. Could you do something about it? I asked Okanagi rather directly. I'm not really expecting an answer, but... Understood. The mountain dogs will take care of it. Just give us a little time and we'll do a clean job. Take care of it? Make sure the police won't get involved. We need a little time to prep. But it won't be difficult. I'm startled. Rika's mother is my enemy, but I was thinking about how I could convince her. But the leader of the mountain dogs, the counterintelligence unit, whose duty is to protect this secret research, came up with a much simpler plan. Do you mean to kill her? To preserve the secret, I was told to do whatever is necessary. Of course, we won't do anything until we get an order. Right. It's a very simple problem to him. Rika's mother has started to interfere with our research. Not only that, there's a chance she might talk to people about the Institute, so they will eliminate her. That sounds like a good idea. Can you do a good job of it? That's why we're here. This will be our biggest job since the kidnapping of the minister's grandson. I remember now. The mountain dogs are the ones who kidnapped the grandson of the minister of construction and used that to blackmail him. It's been a few years, so I completely forgot about that. They did such a marvellous job then. That's right. I have the mountain dogs on my side. Can you get on with it right away? We could easily kill her, even tonight, but that'd create too much of a fuss, make it look like she disappeared. So give us a little time to make some arrangements. Just like a cat's eyes under a bright light, I can feel something in the back of my eyes open up. Up until now I'd been racking my brain, trying to figure out how to make her my ally, or at least make her surrender, or pacify her. Yet one order to this man and the problem's easily solved. I feel like a bird taking its first flight. How easily I can get rid of that annoying mother. All I have to do is give an order. I feel grateful for Koizumi-sensei for giving me such terrific subordinates. What a wonderful power he's given me. I was taught that all people are equal, but if I have the power to control people's lives, then that means I'm more important than they are. What a feeling it is to be above others. So did you just want Rika Furude's mother to disappear? Well, wait a minute. Does he mean only Rika Furude's mother? I can feel chills all over my body. If possible, maybe I should have her father disappear too. Rika's willing to help. She has no other relatives in the Furude family. If both parents die, she has to depend on someone. The Irie Institute can support her. We can give her status, money, protection. We can give her anything. By doing so, maybe it's possible to make her one of us, rather than just having her as a helper. All my worries are melting away. Everything I was just concerned about seems like a joke now. I had such powerful subordinates all this time, yet I never realised. All my tension is being released, and I'm starting to feel relaxed. I can feel myself regaining my cool head. I'm going to get rid of them. Rika's parents, that is. The Queen Carrier is my guinea pig. A guinea pig doesn't need parents. That's right. It's almost time for the Watanagashi festival. If they die on that day, people will call it the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. The murder case from 2 years ago and the accident from last year are two separate incidents. Yet, because they happened on the day of Watanagashi, they're being called the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. Then if your parents' deaths occur on this year's Watanagashi, it'll be Oyashiro-sama's curse 3 years in a row. Then, this is the 3rd year one, so we got that one fragment that's based on this. The miracle of Oyashiro-sama, also the curse. I'm going to create them. This is a chance for me to ascend to godhood and toy with human fate. The incidents that occurred 2 years in a row are said to be a curse, but not everyone believes that. However, if it happens 3 years in a row, then everyone has to believe, because that'll be a true curse that's created by me. I'll become Oyashiro-sama. My desire for revenge against God is coming together. Making her merely disappear isn't that fun, is it? When I started to laugh, Okanagi grinned to show his interest. We're going to create the curse of Oyashiro-sama. I can't just let her die. She'll be demoned away, and I'm going to enjoy dissecting her alive. Of course, I won't just have fun. This will be extremely useful for our research. After all, she's the previous Queen Carrier. Ho ho! The bitch. Starting to get interested now. As if it wasn't before, but it's really addictive, this sort of fragment-based storytelling. I don't know if it counts as actually being done yet, or if it's just being prepared. Execution for the 3rd year's curse. So we got that one. Taxation of War from Uishi. I don't think we've had that one. Death of Koizumi, no. Completion of the medicine. Weak food is high fever, no. Don't think so. Nope. Ryuge family, no, we haven't had much of Ryuge family. 4th year's curse. I thought we'd add that, but no. T-set being put away, was that Rika at that meeting? We haven't had Maibara yet anyway, so. Red capsule is required, no. We haven't done anything of these last 2 pages yet. It is revenge though, I guess, it's counting. So yeah, this has been Greeny XI. I hope you've enjoyed. I'll thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry mate, it's going to be recording for too long. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in a bit when we carry on doing the fragments, working our way through. Well, I guess it's going to be more of Rika's stuff, or Rika's parents right now, maybe. Yeah, thanks again for watching, folks. See you again in a bit.